And as African telecom operators look to modernize their networks, Open RAN, that's O-RAN, and automation are emerging as critical enablers of innovation, cost efficiency, and competitive advantage. This panel will be joined by Accenture and Rakuten Symphony to explore the key drivers behind O-RAN adoption in Africa, the impact on the region's telecom landscape, and the technological challenges of integrating O-RAN with existing infrastructure. And Nitesh and Faiq, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Oh,
Good to be here.
Thanks for being here. Faiq, we've already spoken to you a couple of times
Yes.
since we've been here. Nitesh, good meeting you, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So I want to start off with you, Nitesh, if you
Sure.
don't mind. Can we talk about the key drivers for O-RAN and automation in these African telecom networks?
Yeah, so I think, over the last few years, probably like a decade now, Orion, we've seen a lot of the operators in Africa, evaluating the technology. And really the big reason is they were locked in to the current ecosystem. And what we're seeing anyway and we're working with all big guys in Africa, we're seeing, them looking to ORAN to open up the playing field. And that's a huge driver. They obviously want better customer experience, which ORAN is giving you, deployment, speed to market, and the cost as well. So, Africa is, it almost leapfrogged, the West. And, I see us almost pioneering and innovating a lot down there. So we've actually run a lot of ORAN proof of concepts with the likes of Rakuten and most of the operators in Africa. And, it's pretty much the big reason is vendor lock-in.
Yeah.
That's the key one.
Well, certainly there's a competitive landscape with telecom providers in Africa. How is O-RAN impacting that?
Yeah, so I think it's really having a massive impact. I mean, as they're competing with each other, especially in rural areas, that's really where we're seeing the benefit of O-RAN being deployed faster and quicker. And the operators who can, who've adopted the O-RAN mindset can then deploy their networks much faster in rural areas and get a far bigger reach to the customer base. And that gives them that competitive edge.
Faiq, I want to go to you on a more sort of a top-level, high-level question as far as integrating O-RAN into existing telco infrastructure. What are the sort of the top-line challenges there?
Thank you, App. From a technological challenge that if you have a legacy proprietary 4G, 5G network and you're bringing O-RAN in the same legacy environment, in Rakuten Mobile, we've proven that interoperability seamlessly can work because we did use proprietary 4G technology in Rakuten Mobile build-out. However, there are technical challenges, and the biggest thing is that we were able to succeed in this in Rakuten Mobile because the set-free interface, one of the major NEM, was able to open. Otherwise, the vendor lock-ins and proprietary vendors keeping these interfaces locked brings one of the technological challenges. Now, the other angle is that, from a cloud perspective as well, if you really trying to realize the true potential of Open RAN, RDUs in our technology with Rakuten Symphony is integrated not only on Rakuten Cloud but also all the other cloud vendors, and maybe at the moment the other Open RAN vendors are not integrated on all the clouds, so that also poses a technical challenge, I would say. Coming back a little bit, you asked Nitesh, I do believe that always there is a difference between the first world and the third world, and in Africa there is a lot of underdeveloped architecture, and really if operators have to take a leap of faith, and we can go into the TCO conversations later on, there is a huge potential and gain for the infrastructure build out, a faster infrastructure build out to support African needs, I would say so.
I wanted to get, go ahead, did you want to comment?
No, I think, it's not a question of if, it's when. Sure. I think what we're seeing from many of the operators, they've been evaluating Open RAN for the better part of 5 years now. And, they're at quite an advanced stage of deploying Open RAN into their ecosystem.
I want to get into AI of course, as we all want to discuss that. And I want to talk about its relationship to ORAN and maybe improving the efficiencies of ORAN. Faiq, I want to start with you. Again, just kind of walk us through maybe the first couple iterations of what we can expect with AI and ORAN as far as those efficiencies go.
So see, the promise of Open RAN with automation is sky is the limit, or sky is not even the limit. The whole idea is that it's such an open, interoperable, integrated environment that you can automate as much as you want and as much as you like. So, you know, there are lots of, the whole SMO, RAPS concept is become to reality mainly because of the openness and what we have introduced in Open RAN technologies. You look into RAPS, XAPS, auto healing, energy saving, massive MIMO optimization. There are many use cases of automation AI which we are able to bring to realize the true benefits of Open RAN. I mean, there are many other technological advantages. Of course, there's a TCO angle that it will, in the bigger totality, in the bigger picture, it will do a TCO optimization. Mass scale deployments, mass scale upgrades. You talk about the efficient, faster rollout deployment, auto healing, auto correction. That's all the automation Open RAN has promised and can deliver. And in Rakuten success story, we have been able to show. Now, when we talk about TCO benefits with all this automation, AI, and Open RAN, I heard that one of the challenge, vendor lock-ins and TCO challenges. Yes, that remains, and I think we need to look a little bit wider. That the first 10 or 50 sites in an African environment, if some operator wants to take a leap of faith and go to the wider and the bigger benefit, what they will be able to achieve once they really see the full potential of the technology. I mean, the gains are unlimited. With a region where there is a skilled talent, it is still in a scarcity, and that's a problem for the whole world, yet alone for Africa. We will be able to do these deployments and roll out with much lesser human power and the automation which Open RAN and the AI and all these intelligent operational solutions bring along with it.
Nitesh, Faiq mentioned total cost of ownership. Let's talk about that a little bit. As far as African telcos go, how does ORAN play a role in that, and what is its impact on TCO?
Massive. So I think Faiq made an important point. What we see is a lot of power issues in Africa, right? And you find a lot of the current RAN providers being powered by diesel and things like that. And obviously that affects your overall TCO. Open RAN is a game changer.
Yeah.
For what I've seen, and we've trialed the technology now, and I think it's from a TCO perspective, look, a lot of the operators have put out their business cases, and there's definitely a positive TCO when they think about the deployments in the right way. And if you look at the self-healing concepts and the monitoring that Open RAN gives you, if you do it in the right way, there'll be a positive TCO. So we've actually worked on a number of these business cases with them, and I definitely see the benefits far outweighing anything else from a TCO perspective.
Faiq, any comment?
Yeah, I mean, I already made that point that I think in one of the addresses our chairman Mikitani also said, and then Sharat-san has talked about as multiple times. I mean, we have been able to bring 20% energy savings in our environment in Rakuten. Imagine you go to Africa or you go around the world, and even if you're able to achieve 15% savings, this is huge. And
it's massive.
Massive on the scale what we're talking. So again, going back to that point which I earlier said, that the TCO benefits is much wider and bigger than the first leap of faith or the choice or the discussion of 10 or 50 sites. And that's where still the industry is a little bit challenged. I think Nitesh made a very, very good point that it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when we will be able to achieve this automation and the realization of the true benefits of Open RAN, especially in Africa region, where it will play, I think, in 5 years from now, a massive, massive role. I mean, you look at some of the successes we have achieved in Kenya, We have been public about it. So besides our, of course, achievements in Rakuten Japan, so there's a lot of collaboration going on, and this is first of many I envisage to come in Africa.
Absolutely.
Now, as far as intelligent automation goes, can you talk about your relationship or partnership with Accenture, Faiq, whether it's current or impending?
Accenture remains one of the major players in not only telco vertical but outside, and we have been collaborating on quite a few areas. Nitesh and I have been talking many opportunities where in Africa, Accenture has a massive drive to really automate and bring the true realization. And we believe that with our products in their lab environments, there is a massive use case to replicate that in the real environments. And that's what we are really trying in some of the upcoming opportunities. And maybe Nitesh, you can add something to it.
Yeah, so it's a very powerful partnership. So we started working, me personally, with the Rakuten team about 2 to 3 years ago, and we've taken the Open RAN technology and we've deployed it into most of our customers in Africa and some of the very big markets, and the benefits are amazing. And I think 5 years ago it was a dream. And literally, we were able to launch in a matter of months. Which before was a nightmare. So, going back to this partnership, we were looking for thought leadership. We are looking for game changers. We are looking for, when you want to change the world. And it's a pleasure working with the Rakuten team. And we see this growing from strength to strength with our customers.
Yeah, I don't think this topic on intelligent automation or ORAN in general is going anywhere anytime soon, so I'm sure we'll be talking about that. Probably much more about the use cases and applications of it, as Nitesh was alluding to. Maybe this time next year we'll be talking about that more. Faiq, good to talk to you, as always.
Thank you so much.
And Nitesh, it's good to meet you, and have a good trip back, by the way. I know it's a long flight.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.